Well, Prince Harry's at London's High Court today in his latest attack against the British tabloids. In the first royal testimony in over a century, the prince was asked to provide proof the newspaper illicitly gathered information against him, including hacking his phone. The prince spent nearly 5 hours on the witness stand detailing his struggles. He says were all stemmed from the bad boy persona tabloids created for him. Barrie Livingstone is a royals commentator, founder of House of Barrie, and joins us live. Barrie, thank you for your time. The prince is now the first senior member of the royals to testify in more than a century. The family, as we know, has been subjected to paparazzi literally for decades. How significant is this moment, is today's testimony?
Well, this is greatly significant because the royal family is, up there with God and up there as high as you can in the upper echelons of society. And of course, the last time this happened was 130 years ago. It was actually Queen Victoria's son, Edward Albert, and it was quite devastating. He was actually at a card game and he witnessed some cheating. There was cheating that went on, so he had to have testimony for only 20 minutes. But apparently, he was very, very fraught and he was very flustered, because they're not used to being questioned like this. So as you can imagine, Prince Harry has 33 separate counts that he has to recant each time.
So Barrie, Prince Harry needs to prove two things here. He needs to prove that his phone was hacked and that tabloid coverage caused him distress. He was really pressed on both of those things today while he was on the stand. Did he make his case?
Well, initially you can see he was very flustered, obviously, because you're trying to remember, and they were going from count to count. So if you can imagine talking about something that happened when if you're 40 odd years old and you're thinking about something that happened at different moments in time, 15, 20 years ago, it's quite difficult to recount. So he was a little flustered at first, but then he seemed to gain speed as it was brought more and more towards the future and towards the present. But it is very difficult to prove, but I don't see any journalists. The actual journalists who broke the story, I'm quite surprised why they're not being asked. He did actually say, why don't you ask one of the journalists? Because they should be able to say where they got it from, or at least have something redacted to say where they got this information.
And Barrie, do you think he'll get any sympathy? Because obviously everybody knows, the world knows what ended up happening to his mother because she was being chased by paparazzi.
I think that most people who followed the whole Diana story while it was happening, obviously, if she wasn't being chased by paparazzi, she wouldn't have died in a car crash. So that's something that's something very clear, and that's something very present that he learned at a very early age, and that's why he wants to protect himself and protect his family and children from this type of behavior, because it's not over yet. They really can't come to England, and he can't come back to his homeland because he doesn't have the proper security detailing. So he feels very threatened by that. It's very real.
Last question, and this is really just yes or no. I mean, we know the prince says he wants to be the person that puts an end to the madness of tabloid practices there in Britain. Do you think that's even possible at this point?
It depends on the outcome. It really does. I think we all have to wait and see. I think that if they can prove, if they have actual positive proof, even if it's just on one count, I think that the press will have to be very careful in England in the future.
All right. Barrie Livingstone, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.